guys, it's Pip from Sydney Advanced Physio here, and I thought I would show you my 3 favorite stretches to do with a foam roller. And these stretches you can do with a foam roller of any size. This is a long foam roller, and I love long foam rollers because there is so much more that you can do with them. But I wanted to make sure that this was a video that even if you have a teeny weeny roller, you can still try these stretches at home. The first exercise you can do with your foam roller is a child's pose spinal articulation. The whole point of this exercise is to try and get as much movement from your spine as possible and to learn to control that movement. The stiffer your back is, the more likely you are to have problems with it. So you're going to set yourself up as if you were going to go into child's pose. You want your knees nice and wide so there's no pressure on your bladder. Put your roller in front of you with both hands on it, and you're going to slowly take yourself down to child's pose. Once you're in child's pose, you're going to try and take 2 or 3 deep breaths here. As you take your deep breaths, try to keep your neck and shoulder muscles relaxed so they're not doing the breathing work for you. Try and grow wide in the lower rib cage. Once you've done that, you're going to slowly arch your back and curl back up. The idea is that you're stacking one bone on top of the next bone. So you're going to need to sit your bottom back onto your heels and slowly restack your spine up over the top of your pelvis. You want to make sure that you don't come up with a straight back, or that you don't curl your way up and halfway up straighten up, or curl too far back and lean back. Generally, when I do this exercise at home, I do 8 to 10 repetitions, and it really should be comfortable. You should be more focused on just curling your spine up, keeping things relaxed, and restacking one bone on top of the other without feeling any huge stretch anywhere. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, or you go into a foot cramp, you may not be able to do this exercise. My second favorite foam roller stretch is thread the needle. You want to come on all fours and put the roller beside you. So if the roller is on my right side, I'm going to thread my left hand through the gap, so through the eye of the needle. Then I'm going to position my hand high, medium, and low. They're the angles that you're going to be pushing through on. I'm going to leave my bottom up in the air, and I'm going to drop my head down and stretch as far as I can. So pushing that roller away from my body. First up high, then moving to the middle section, and then down low. And each position I'm holding for 10 seconds. It should be more of a comfortable stretch in the upper and mid-back sections of this stretch, and more of a very gentle, general lower back stretch when you're doing the lower range stretch. In any position, this should be a comfortable stretch. It should not be pinchy, it should not be painful, and it should not bring on any pins and needles. If you feel lightheaded, please come out of this position immediately. Once you've done high, middle, and low for 10 seconds on each side, you want to move your roller across to the other side and repeat on the other side. Generally, when I'm doing this stretch, I do it 2 to 3 times on each side at home. If it's a little bit uncomfortable for your knees on the floor, you can pop a pillow underneath your knees. The third and final stretch you can do at home with your foam roller is the mermaid stretch. And I'm going to give you a little bonus 4th one by showing you a progression of the mermaid stretch. You can sit cross-legged, or if you're comfortable, Zen Sit. I'm not very comfortable Zen sitting, so I'm going to sit cross-legged. If you have a bit of restriction in your hips, you might need to prop some books underneath your bottom so that it lifts your hips up higher than your knees and makes it possible for you to sit cross-legged. If you still can't get comfortable in this position, you're probably going to be best doing this exercise sitting in a chair where you can pop your feet on the floor, but you won't be able to use the foam roller for that. Once you're set up comfortably, so for me that's cross-leg sitting, I'm going to have my roller on one side. So I'm going to put my roller on my right side, and keeping my bottom firmly in contact with the ground, I'm going to reach up and over with my left hand and push the roller away with my right. So I've got to keep my bottom on the floor to feel this stretch down my left side. So I should feel it from my left shoulder down towards my left hip in that region. And I'm going to watch that my right shoulder doesn't pop forward or up near my ears. And I'm going to try and take a few deep breaths to try and stretch my rib cage on the left and get a bit more stretch. And then I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to keep that right shoulder set throughout, but not gripped and not pulled down. So just set back comfortably. Generally at home I do 3 or 4 on one side, and then I move my roller across to the other side and I repeat on the other side. In order to bias the stretch a little bit more to my lower back, then what I'm going to do is sit cross-legged again. I'm going to put the roller beside me on the right. I'm going to reach up and over with my left hand, but before I push away with my right, I'm going to anchor that left hand onto the roller. So I've got two hands on the roller now, and my chest is pointing at the floor, and my bottom is still firmly in contact with the ground. Once I'm in this position, I'm then going to push the roller away as far as I can without my bottom popping off the floor, and I should feel this stretch in my left lower back. As I come back in, I'm going to take the left hand off the roller, untwist my body, and come back up with my shoulders nice and set. Again, at home I tend to do 3 or 4 on one side, and then I switch to the other side. Mermaid should produce a comfortable stretch only. If you're doing it without rotation, you should only feel that stretch down the side of your torso. If you're doing it with rotation, it should be more in your lower back area. As always, the exercises in this video and in all of our videos are intended as a general advice only, and if you choose to do them at home, you do so at your own risk. You should not feel anything other than what I've described in these videos, and if you do, you need to stop immediately. I recommend that if you feel any pain, increased levels of discomfort, pins and needles, numbness, or anything else that you find distressing or uncomfortable while doing these stretches or any other exercises or any other self-release techniques that you have seen in any of our videos, that you stop immediately and consult your physio or your GP. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know below in the comments if you have any questions or any future topics you would like me to cover. And once again, thank you for supporting us on Patreon.